guys. I just want to say thank you for clicking onto this video. Please like and share. Today I just feel like talking a little bit about what's going on in Zambia, but this actually happens across Africa. It's something that you can learn. When you talk about this, it's like you're talking to a lot of countries across the continent, right? The Zambians are lucky for now. They've just come out of a very important election. It was like a referendum on its own. They got a new president who's already rich. He's the richest man in Zambia before he even got into politics. So he knows a thing or two about making money, and you can see he's an honest man. I'm not saying he's a saint or anything like that. And this government, they're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but so far, in the last 3 months, the things he has demonstrated is that he's putting the Zambian people first, compared to the previous government. There's been no mercy come back into the police department. Back in the day, the cadres were overruling the police pretty much. Whatever the police decisions were, the cadres will come and overrule that. And the cadres went on a rampage to do whatever they want. They took the law into their own hands, and the police wing didn't do anything about it. So we are seeing all these things coming to normal. Like in the markets, you had to be a cadre to operate in markets in Zambia in the previous regime. But now, you just have to be a Zambian or even a foreigner. You can go and operate if you got the right documents. No one is going to bother you. So we've gone back to the way Zambia used to be. I think the last 6 years were just terrible. And I'll never stop praising the Zambian people for kicking that president to the curb. There's something important that's about to happen in the country though. Zambia, for a long time, they've subsidized the price of fuel. What does that mean? What that means is the government will buy fuel, usually through a middleman. I don't know why they do that when you can just go to the Saudis or Nigerians or Angolans, or these days you can even go to, I think, Uganda. They're going to start exporting oil, and make some agreements with them, and they'll sell you oil at a reasonable price. But I know the Zambian government goes through a middleman. So the middleman makes a profit. As a result, when they acquire that petrol or that fuel, it requires a lot of money. And then when it gets into Zambia, because they use the single pipeline, it gets refined into, kerosene, whatever, diesel, petrol, and then it's sold. So this process, if you add all these things, the price of fuel in Zambia will be extremely high. So what the government does, they say, let's say the price of fuel is going to be $2. The government says, okay, we'll pay an extra $1 per fuel, per liter to you guys, so that the Zambian people, the only thing they'll be able to pay for is $1. When I was in Zambia, I thought, oh, that was good. The Zambian government looking after the people. But when I remember, if most of you Zambians remember, Rupiah Banda's son, when Rupiah Banda was president, that was still a source of corruption, and I think it has been a source of corruption since its inception. Because even Rupiah Banda put his children there. They're the ones who were going out there getting this fuel and all that stuff. And they just had so much money out of the blue. And that's the thing, and that's because Zambia is spending about $67 million for this subsidy. When, in actual fact, when you look at countries like England, New Zealand, they actually add an extra charge to fuel. If it's New Zealand, they add an extra $1. And then the money they collect from that is the money that allows them to have free healthcare. So they add $1 to the price of fuel. So instead of you paying $1.60, you'll be paying $2.60 per liter in New Zealand. The UK does some similar stuff. And then they collect that money to help them run things that are important to their people. So in this instance, they're not doing it. But in Zambia, what has happened? The subsidy has become a source of just corruption. You know, this is if you want to make money, everyone who becomes president, they put their kids there, or people they so-called trust there. And basically what it is they could easily buy this fuel for cheap. They could buy it for $2, but they'll find a way to buy it for $10. They could even buy it for $1 or 60 cents a liter, but they'll find a way to buy it at $3 a liter. You see, it does not make sense. But the people of Zambia believe their government is trying to help them. When in actual fact, what happened is millions of dollars end up in the hands of very few people. Okay? And then, in addition to that, the country misses out on progressing on developmental issues like, roads, not just feeder roads or main roads, but roads on the streets, garbage collection in the towns, cleanliness, planting trees, beautifying cities and all these things. They end up miss out because there is no money. And all these things will create jobs. But most of that money is going in 2, 3, or 10 people's pockets. But they'll come around and tell you, like, oh, this is very important. The thing is, it's not important. What we have to do as Zambians, we have to find a way to innovate. So personally, I strongly believe the current government should remove fuel subsidies. Let the price be the price. However, what the other thing they should also do is get rid of the middleman. Buy straight from the Saudis, if that's what you want, or buy from Nigerians. Buy crude from Nigerians. It's going to be way cheaper than using a middleman, because the middleman is already hiked up the price by 100, who knows, even 200% before you buy it. So we got to find a way to buy straight from the Saudis or wherever we're buying it from. Okay? So the price will be cheaper. Then secondly, if it turns out that we still have to pay 1 kwacha more, let's pay for it. But then let's be vigilant of where the money we're going to save from these subsidies is going to be spent on. The thing is, at some point we have to feel the pinch. Zambians must feel this pinch, because next time we're not going to vote for an idiot as a president. And if it comes to a position where an idiot becomes a president, we will never allow them to finish their term. Because at the end of the day, it is us who are going to have to pay. And when we go through this, there's something we are going to learn. This will be baptism through fire for us. We have to learn that actually voting, when we vote for people and they end up stealing the money, it is us they're stealing from. Because at the end of the day, it is us who has to pay it back. Like right now, we have to find a way to pay back this $14 billion. We can't have a budget that can only sponsor 2 things: fuel subsidies and the government salaries. We can't have that. So these fuel subsidies, they have to go. And the other thing is, the economists in Zambia, they're going to come and tell you, oh, everything is going to hike up, the price of this, the price of that, the price of this. Yes, that might happen, but we can find a way to fight it. This is where innovation comes in. People need to be innovative. Let's make riding a bicycle cool. If it meant, you're going to be spending a lot getting to your job, maybe buy a bicycle. If there's a smart person out there, this is where you should come in and make these like Uber kind of bicycles where people can, cycle from this place to that, and they connect it and it charges them less money rather than them paying for a car. Rich people in places like the Netherlands, they cycle, they ride bicycles. In Zambia, because we've associated bicycles with poverty, as a result, if you see everyone wants to drive, that's how they're going to show that they got money. In the days of COVID, riding a bicycle might just save your life, because that's exercising. Oh, the price of fuel, the price of food is going to go up. Yes, the price of food might go up. But guess what? So will the number of people who will be employed. So will be the roads on which these trucks will ride. The trucks will have better roads. The number of people employed will go up. But secondly, this is where now innovation comes in. How do we make sure that the trucks don't end up using too much fuel, so that which ends up affecting the price of our commodities? Innovation. You know what thing we can do? Let's grow sunflower. Let's grow this sunflower, turn into oil, and then use that oil for trucks as fuel. It's something you can do. All you need to do is a little thing that you add into the engine that will allow you to switch between diesel and oil. You can only use diesel to start the engine. After that, it switches and you start using oil from sunflower. So that in itself can create businesses. Don't let these people scare you. They want to scare you because they're not innovative. You know, if we listen to economists like we have in the past, no one in Zambia should be suffering. Corruption will be gone. Everything will be cool. But they just say they're textbook people. Most of these guys, they don't even think for themselves. They just remember what has been done. You see, in America, they're doing this. You know, in this thing, they're doing that right now. Because the economy is not doing well. It's two different economies at two different times. Let's go back when the American economy was $25 billion and see if they were doing the same thing they're doing today. That's why you should never listen to these educated people in Zambia. It's good to be educated, but some of these educated guys are just brainwashed. So, we need to get rid of subsidies and use that money. We'll be collecting almost $800 million if you do the math. You know, those of you guys who are mathematicians, you know, in a year, if we are saving $60 million every month, I think we'll come to about, you know, about $800 billion. Added to Zambia, to government coffers, $800 million, which means for the next 10 years, you know, this government could pretty much have $8 billion invested into the Zambian people. Better schools, better education system, better hospitals, no running out of medicine, make even the free medicines. You know, let's change the system to where people get free quality health system like the way Rwanda has done it. You know, Zambians, please, don't be fooled by these people calling themselves economists, or people like Chilofya Tayali, you know, they talk nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. You know, Chilofya Tayali wants to be the next president of Zambia, but he's a flip-flopper. You know, he thinks he's the coolest dude on the planet or the smartest person in Zambia, but he's a douchebag. He's a douchebag. You know, and I think for the next 50 years, let's avoid to vote for lawyers, man. Maybe we should just stick with business people. You know, Chilofya Tayali will say something like, oh, in Zambia, you can't, once you make money, everyone thinks. If you make money legitimately, Zambians don't question you. Zambians didn't question HH. It was only politicians that used to bring up HH and the selling of mines. He never went to jail for it. He never did anything because he never did anything wrong. Zambians didn't care. GBM is another guy who's got money. Zambians have never cared. But when we have Tasira Lungu becomes a multi-millionaire within 3 months after the father becomes a president, we gotta question that. How come you didn't make this money when your father was not president? You know, and Zambians have every right to question that. Even Mr. Lungu. How did he become a multi-millionaire within a couple of years, if a few months of becoming president? You know, Why was Chishimba Kambwili asking the the Bank of Zambia governor for $30 million? Not even politicians in developed countries would ask for that kind of money. So that tells you there's so much money, but there's so much misuse. Zambia is not a poor country, it's a rich country, but the misuse of government funds is what had made this country poor. And this government is doing something. You know, I'm Bemba. And honestly, Bemba should be ashamed of ourselves. We should be. You know, this idea that, oh, it has to be the Bemba or someone related to the Bemba to be the president. All these people, all you guys with these sorts, with this way of thinking, you're idiots. You are idiots. Zambia has had Bemba presidents. You know, we had Chiluba, who was from Luapula. Luapula is one of the poorest provinces in Zambia. Chiluba was from Luapula. He never did nothing for Luapula. Nothing at all. You know, I was born in Inchalenge. You know, from a family who are business people. But I always we own a lot of things in Luapula. I always wondered why we never took advantage of Congo. And here comes this president, who is Tonga, and he sees what I saw, what I've seen since I was a kid. How much money we can make from Congo. You go to Kasumbalesa. You don't have to take my word for it. Take a ride. Jump on a bus. Go to Kasumbalesa. You will see buses, truckloads, trucks, truck and trailers, semi-trailers, loaded with cooking oil, water, bottled water, all sorts of groceries coming from Tanzania, some as far as South Africa, even going through Zambia to get to Congo. Luapula, where I was born, in Inchalenge, Lake Mweru. You cross Lake Mweru on the other side, you are in Congo. In Luapula, you can grow palm trees, and we can make palm oil. Palm oil is quite popular in Congo. That could create money, businesses, create jobs for people in Luapula. But not even Chiluba could do that. You know, people speak the same language. But not even Chiluba could do that. So if you guys think just because someone is from your village and they represent you, you are idiots for thinking, because they don't represent you, they represent themselves. I was in Luapula as a youngster and I saw how these politicians treat people. You know, before they become MPs, they'll be nice. Just like a few months before elections, they'll really be nice to you. They'll even stop their cars to pick up people on the side of the road. The moment they are voted, I saw these people even insult people. They are from the same place. Don't touch my car. And they'll drive off. Now that they are into politics, again, the cycle becomes, because Africans, we have short memories. It's not just Zambians, Africans in general. We have short memories. The people who do that, and then when election year, they change their behavior. They are nice to people. People vote for them again. And you keep telling, oh, he's just a businessman. No, he's taking your money. He's not just a businessman. If he was a businessman, he didn't need to be in politics to make money. So he has taken your money, your children's money, and because of your thinking, you are denying your grandkids and your grandkids' kids a better future, a better country, a better Zambia, because you are so focused on being tribal. That is sad. That is sad. Let's stop looking at people that are from our tribe and start looking at people that have our best interest at heart. And this government of HH, so far, they have the best interest of the Zambian people. Now, I'm not saying they are the best or they're always, they're going to make mistakes. It's something even the president says. We will make mistakes. That's just normal. But so far, they've done very well. My only problem I have is when he sent a private jet to sort of get the Zambians out of Addis Ababa. I thought that was against my Pan-Africanism. I think we should stand with Ethiopia. But at the same time, I understand where he's coming from. I'm pretty sure if Ethiopia had asked for an extra, like army and stuff like that, I think Zambia would be more than willing to go and help out. Fortunately for Ethiopia, they've managed. They're doing quite well. The army there, and everything is going back to normal. I'm looking forward to seeing these Zambians flown back to Addis Ababa and continue their lives there. Because at the end of the day, unity is what's going to make us stronger. The moment we are divided in these 50-something countries, we are gone. Already, there's proof now that the US was interfering, something I'd already known. If you remember, there was one time Ethiopia was trying to negotiate with Egypt about the dam, and Trump said, Egypt may end up blowing that dam. It was a few weeks after that even this war started. So for me, I knew the tricks of how these people function and where these sort of things came from. Same thing now. Going back to Zambia, we need to be united as one country. Don't look at all these thieves that are only interested in feeding themselves so they can have big bellies, and their children being spoiled. Driving fancy cars and all this stuff. Not your children, but you are there just because they give you chitenge, and you want to stand by the side of the road and sing praises to them for giving you chitenge. That's the mentality that's sending us to the grave. Because remember, our economy right now, if he had continued with the previous regime, we'll have a Zimbabwe situation. And this Zimbabwe situation was going to be done not by external forces, but just by us, by having a government that didn't know anything about running economic affairs of the country. Please, get ready for the pinch when these subsidies go, but it's something Zambia needs to happen. It's something every Zambian must brace themselves for and innovate, change your habits. Like I said, people, and this is a business for entrepreneurs, look into this. Trucks can use cooking oil. If you don't know, trucks can use cooking oil. That's a business you could start. For you guys who are entrepreneurs, it's just a little thing that you need to change, you need to add to the engine. You start the car, uses diesel, and then that thing sort of moves the switches, and you start using up cooking oil, and it runs the truck fine. We can still have cheap food, but also create more jobs. Because now, instead of us just relying on imported diesel from Saudi Arabia, we can start relying on oil imported within manufactured within Zambia, which will be cooking oil. That's a business on its own there that could create hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs for Zambian people. Because if we get it right, we can export that same sort of technology and thinking to other countries around Africa or our neighbors. Don't listen to people like Kampyongo, Chirufya Tayali, and all these economists about the fear they want to put in you. We have to go through this. But when we go through it, let's make sure we never go through it again by making sure that we vote for the right people, not just because they're from our tribe. Because believe me, that there's a lot of people that we've voted for who are from your tribe, and 20 years from now, your tribe is poor. I was in Luapula in 2018. All I saw was poverty everywhere. Kids not having food, flies on their mouth. I saw all that in Luapula. And Chuluba was president for 10 years. And he never did nothing for that place. So my fellow Zambians, please, be innovative. You can survive this. It's not going to go on forever. We're going to fight. This government is going to find a way to get that fuel cheaper. We're going to find a way to make sure ZESCO runs effectively. And we're going to find a way to make sure that the money that is going to be saved from these subsidies is reinvested into the people. That will actually benefit. Remember, other countries add a cost on the pump so that money is used to give free education, to give free medical services, free healthcare system. And for us, that would be $67 million, not kwacha, dollars. Imagine what it could do for us. We're going to feel the pinch? Yes, we'll feel the pinch. Just like if Zambia was going to go to war. And that's how we have to look at it. It's war to save our economy and to save our beautiful country. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.